Now, I'm not surprised in the least that Jussie Smollett got let off recently of all the 16 charges that the police, charged him with. This is what I expect nowadays when it comes to the left. If you're an anti-white racist and you say horrible things about white people, we're going to hire you at the New York Times. If you lie under oath, that's fine. You can get away with it. It's not a big deal. But if you're on the right and you stare at a native kid, at a native guy, an old man who's lying about being a Vietnam veteran, then we're going to destroy you through the mob of public opinion and the public court opinion, right? And that's another thing. If this was a white guy who did this, and lied about two black people, and all the evidence came out during it, this guy would have to go into hiding because people would be trying to dox him. They would be trying to ruin his life. They would be going after him in the streets and stuff. But there's not going to be a mob of people going after Jussie Smollett after lying about two people trying to assault him, saying that it was two white people. He was going to charge two white people that the police had, and he was going to say it was them, right? And he only changed his mind when it was his two black friends that came. So it's like, what the fuck? That's ridiculous. And of course he's going to get off. Like I said, if you got the right connections, if you say the right things, the right people, you say the leftist narrative, Trump is a meanie, white people are bad, socialism is good, then they're gonna go to bat for you. Look at all those people at Antifa who go to prison a lot of the times. All of their bail is paid for by these rich billionaires, people like George Soros and whatnot, that go and spend money so these people can go and terrorize people. And there's, like I said, there's not going to be a mob of people going after Jussie Smollett for being a fucking racist and lying about this, but there would be a mob if he was white and right-wing, for sure. Of course, they would be unrelenting. But with this, people are just going to forget about it. He's going to get his job back at Disney, just like James Gunn got hired back at Disney. These people don't give a shit. Not that I expect that they would. But I think this is almost a good thing. Like this is he so blatantly lied to everybody about this. Whether you were on the right or the left, most people didn't believe him. So now that all the charges are dropped because of his connections with Michelle Obama and whatnot, it looks really suspicious. And a lot of people are going to lose a lot of trust in the left and are going to start to question them a little bit more and kind of question the narrative that they keep putting out there. And whenever somebody goes and says like, oh, well, you have white privilege and you can do this and you can get away with this. Well, what about Jussie Smollett, right? They're going to have to bite their words at that point. Even if, but he was released and he was found innocent. It'd be like, okay, do you actually believe that? No, you don't actually believe that. So enough with this white privilege racist nonsense. There's lots of privilege in society. I guess you could say white people sometimes like majority privilege occasionally, but there's people, the real privilege comes with wealth, comes with connections, like Jussie Smollett. He had those things. He had lots of money and he had connections with people and higher-ups of government. So this is what is going to get you off. People love to just spew that white privilege narrative, but if you're poor and you're white, you're not going to be able to afford a lawyer to get off. Whereas people, they're looking and they're like, oh, these white people are getting off on crimes and stuff. Well, white people have, on average, more money. And they can buy better lawyers to get off. So they are going to get off more times. But once again, you're looking at a lot of these white people, and a lot of white people, you know, they're also Jewish, and Jewish people don't necessarily identify as white a lot of the times. So when you're looking at, you know, the executives and businesses, and you're looking at who runs Hollywood and who's running who's in charge of all these different corporations and these industries, it's not overrepresented by white people, it's overrepresented by Jewish people. So, you know, we always get kind of lumped together, and I really don't like that, because if you were to separate it, like these people like to do themselves all the time, one minute they're white, the next minute they're not, but if you were to separate it, then you would see the actual numbers, and you would see that white people are actually underrepresented in a lot of things in society, and upper management, and this and that, and universities and all that. All these white people in Harvard, they're Jews, right? And I'm not saying anything about Jews, but I'm just saying that because we're lumping these two groups together, it makes regular white people look a lot fucking worse to other people. So if that distinction was made, people would be like, oh, the numbers would actually look a lot worse for us, you know, and like and better for other people, right? And then we would actually be like, okay, wait, it's not white people who are overrepresented. It's not white privilege. It's Jewish privilege, or it's this privilege, or it's that privilege. And right now, black people, Asian people, people of color in general, women especially, have a lot of privilege in our society right now. Okay, if you're a white person, you can't look at somebody the wrong way without having to go into hiding at one point. But a black person, an Asian person, like I said, Sarah Young, she can say all the white, anti-white things she wants. She'll be hired at the New York Times. You know, you can do horrible shit as a black person, say horrible racist things about white people on Twitter, on video, and whatnot, and you're not going to be shamed and scorned the same way that if a white person did this to a black person. Like, look at the past year when I was like, oh, look at this Becky lady who called the cops on this unsuspecting black family, blah, 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 or this one woman, white lady, didn't let this black guy in, and, you know, all these different situations. This other lady yelled at another black lady, or a little black girl or something, and all of these people have to, like, then go in hiding. But the same doesn't happen with other groups of people. So there is no white privilege. We are being fucking attacked in our own countries. What the fuck are you guys talking about? Like, wake up to all this fucking anti-white goddamn rhetoric going on around you continuously. Like, how do people still think they're fucking oppressed? And all this shit after case after case of people being let off because they're a woman, or they're, you know, Jussie Smollett, etc. But when it's a white person doing it, oh, they need to go to jail for 50 years, or you know, if they're on the right or whatever, even if they just get accused of something and they found not guilty, then yeah, they're gonna have to go in hiding, or there's gonna be people on Twitter and whatnot trying to dox them, their families, their kids, etc. It's insane. But this, I think, should wake some people up. I hope it does, at least, to how, you know, things are not stacked against you and your group as much as you think it is. It's the people whose countries, whose ancestors built this country. It's these people who are being demonized each and every day. It's us who are being dehumanized. It's us who are being otherized each and every fucking day. I see it in each and every article. Every day there's a new article about, oh, white people this, white people this. Look at how the white mind thinks, etc. Like, they are priming people to think of us as non-humans. So one day, potentially, you know, down the road, like, you know what happens when people think other people are not human beings? bad things tend to fucking happen. That's why it's not good to dehumanize people, to otherize people to some extent, to try to like take away their humanity, to make them into like unthinking, privileged monster beings that are always racist no matter what. So we need to have all these regulations and these hate speech laws and that to protect all the minorities around all of these racist white people, because it's just a matter of time before they lose it and put us all in camps eventually, right? There's a lot of people legitimately believe, and they're led to believe this because then they give more power to the government. They're like, oh, these evil white people are gonna hurt you. We need to take away gun rights. We need to take away freedom of speech so they don't offend you. This is all to protect you. Please, but all these people, they're just useful idiots. They're dupes as well. And they're gonna wake up one day and be like, oh, what the fuck? Why did we vote for all of these oppressive authoritarian laws? Oh yeah, it was to oppress our enemies, but wait, now it's being used against us. And I'll be in the back in the corner laughing, not giving two shits, because it's what these people will deserve at the end of the day. If you're not like pissed off at Jussie Smollett, if you're on the left, you're not calling him out like you would call out somebody on the right, then clearly, you don't care. You don't have morals or principles whatsoever. You just want your team to win by any means necessary, and you're not going to hold the people within your own group accountable. But that's all I pretty much had to say. If you like my content, subscribe and have a good day. See ya.